Hello, hello, hello. Yay, it's our village family. Listen, welcome to the village. Welcome to the celebration. We've been partying all day. Oh my goodness. You guys been hanging with us since 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I appreciate the support. Listen, sharing is caring. Be sure to click on that share button and share, share, share. Make sure you invite all of your friends. Invite because it's right. I know that's right. Okay, listen. Woo! 1 year ago, over 1 year ago, we started the Village Leadership Group LLC. I am Dr. Roz Gaskin, CEO and founder of the Village, and I am so excited that you decided to stop by the Village today. So come on in, welcome to the Village, get comfy. This is our last interview of the day, but listen, we saved one of the best for last. Dr. Tasheka Green, welcome to the village. Come on into the village, Dr.
Hello, Dr. Roz. I'm excited to be here and to be a part of the village. It's such a great celebration. Somebody I saw in the chat say, turn up. Yes. Yes. Let's get this party going, right? You already started, but keep it going.
Exactly. Dr. Green, I'm so excited that you are here. I've been following your, I'm about to say ministry, but your service, your work, for a while. I appreciate you for stopping by the village to help us celebrate and talk about education, leadership, service, collaboration, and community. Those are the core values of the village, and we want to talk about it. So yes. Again, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much. And again, congratulations, and I celebrate your success and the things that you are doing to make an impact as well.
Thank you. So one of the things that the village is all about is about preparing teachers as leaders. If we want to see a change in our schools and in our communities, we need to make sure our teachers are leaders and that they have the skills to be change agents, to be innovative, and to, do the things that they have to do to support their students and turn their school community around. So, Dr. Green, you're also about education and leadership. So tell us a little bit about what you do and about the things that how you serve and show up every day.
Yes, thank you so much. So again, I'm Dr. Tasheka Green. I've been in education for over 21 years now. And I always start off and say that education is my calling, teaching is my gift, inspiring is my passion, but serving is my purpose. And I take all of that and I put it together to lead, to serve, to help as many people as I can. And so currently, I am the president, CEO, and founder of To Everything There's a Season. And we are a full-time personal, professional leadership and educational consulting firm, just as you. And we provide coaching and consulting to school districts, organizations, businesses, individuals. And we really help them to leverage just those components that I spoke of really identifying your calling, your gift, your purpose, and your passion so that you could be the best that you can be in what you do. And so having done this over 20 some years now, serving in several capacities. I had the opportunity 2 years ago to branch out. And really, I said I had to activate my faith and just really walk in the ways that which I was already designed and called to do, and just loving every day. And so, as you had said, developing teachers to become leaders. And you talked about innovation. And one thing I always say before innovation has to come to creation. And so we have to always leverage, and you do a lot of the strength-based coaching is when I read some background, is really leverage those strengths and leverage the things in them that they do well and continue to coach around that and let them know that you practice until you get better. You don't practice until you get perfect. And you just continue to lead them in the direction that they need to so that they can become the best leaders that they need, because we definitely need some leaders that are definitely in the work. And I even say now, with us being in this whole new norm, which is not even going to be a new norm, it's going to be our normal.
Exactly.
It's going to be our normal, that we have to prepare leaders now even for this. And I also say even preparing for the what if the next thing, what's the next thing that we don't want to be unprepared for, that will be ready when it's ready to come.
Wonderful. So you talk about, preparing teachers as leaders. And one of the things that I always say within the village is that, leadership is a journey. It's not, something that all of a sudden, I'm a leader now. It's a mindset. It's about having that impact on your environment and in your schools and in your community that you serve. So can you talk about a little bit about maybe your leadership journey and some of the tips and advice that you have for our village?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I always laugh because when I started off 20 years ago, I was, started off as teacher, and I was doing student teaching. And the school, one of the schools, the neighboring schools, they had two teachers, matter of fact, leave within the first couple months of the school year. So they were down to like the third teacher, and she was like, "I'm out. Like, I just can't do this." And so the principal hired a retired teacher that was still certified. She came in to finish the rest of that semester. But a colleague there had saw me at another school where I was student teacher, and she told the principal about me. The principal called me and said, "Listen, this is what's going on. Can you come and student teach? And then it'll be your classroom." Well, of course, I'm fresh, in college. Like, yes, when I finish, I'm guaranteed a job. I'll take it. But I was like, wait a minute now. And it's so funny because when I see the children now, 20 some years later, I go to myself, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And they're like, "Oh, Miss Salmon," I was Miss Salmon at the time. No, we turned out good. But I said that to say that I started off as a teacher, and then my journey actually progressed. So I was a teacher. I was a behavior intervention specialist, a talent and development teacher, assistant principal, director, and then my last job I held was equivalent to a regional assistant superintendent, where I saw schools in a large urban school district. And so my journey started off just as what it was, going back to what was my gift. It was teaching. And even when I look back at that now, as I do the work with, teachers and organizations and leaders and people, I still teach. That's who I am. That I can't get away from that. That's who I am, And so with that being said, my journey is, I always say this, that when preparation meets opportunity, it equals success. And so everything the path that I took, the plan that God had me on, was preparation to get me to the point where I am now and to continue to grow me. A lot of things, people say, I went seeking, I looking. I didn't go looking for anything. And that's what I like to let people know, is that you don't have to go seeking. When you are good at what you do and you value who you are, opportunities will come looking for you, because you are an answer and a solution, and you got something that nobody else had that you can help them to be the best, whatever they need to be. And so that was my journey. I started off as a teacher and just evolved into these different aspects and just continue to do that and do it in humility. You don't have to make a loud noise. Courage is not loud. It doesn't roar. It walks in humility and moves in silence. Do it in humility and know that the least of us are the ones that serve, and that you're doing it to provide a service and to be an answer for them.
Awesome. One of the things that the village is all about, again, it takes a village to build strong leaders. So one of our core values is collaboration. So can you talk about, how important is it for teachers and for teacher leaders to find their community, work collaboratively, and also, network and so forth, and learn from others? Like, how important is collaboration for a teacher leader?
Absolutely. Absolute collaboration is so important for teacher leaders. And I say this all the time, just because you put a group of people together doesn't mean that they collaborate, right? Exactly. And so collaboration is also a skill. You have to know what you need to do during collaboration, how to play a part, how to complement each other in that aspect, how to learn from each other, how to grow. I always say I'm always in a learning stance. I just told someone the other day, I said, "You know what? You're a real rock star when it comes to curriculum and instruction." She was like, "Whatever." She's like, "When I sit with you, I'm like, please." I was like, I'll listen to you, and I'm just a parent repeating what you say. But that is exactly how we have to play a part in collaboration. We have to celebrate each other. We have to learn from each other. We have to grow from each other. And we also have to know when to keep quiet, when we really have to keep quiet and really pay attention to the things that we need to pay attention to, and just be, I call it passive observers during the time. And so that's collaboration so part, and the networking is so important to stay connected, because as we can see in education, it's always changing. And it's always something we need to learn, and someone we need to learn from.
Wonderful. And one of the things too, Dr. Green, is that we want to talk about being intentional as well. As a leader, you have to set goals and be intentional about the steps that you're going to take in order to reach those goals. And I know you as a coach, you help individuals, set goals and reach those goals as well. How important is it that we are intentional about setting goals and creating an action plan in order to reach those goals as teachers and as leaders?
Exactly. It's very intentional, and I know we've all heard the quote that where we put out, where the energy goes is what's going to grow, and things of that nature. And so, when you really are intentional about that goal and the work that you want to do, you always say you prioritize what's important. You prioritize what matters. You put into those actions that's going to get you there. You even put in those milestones and things of that nature. And I'll just say this, like one of the goals that I set for the first quarter was to have at least 2 to 3 new clients and organizations every quarter. That was something that I set for myself, and I wanted to intentionally go after that. And so I had to put a plan in place. I had to put a strategy in place, and grateful that once you stick to it, that you realize, wait a minute, I met it. And I already exceeded it, and it's not even the first quarter yet. But that's the part of putting intention. You have to prioritize. You also have to know that no is a complete sentence, that you can't do everything for everybody because it may not be your assignment, and so you have to be strategic in what you're doing, and as well as intentional, and knowing that this may not be my assignment right now. This may not be the direction I need to go. This may not even be the right action step, and I need to go back and assess it and adjust it. So even within that plan, you can make those adjustments along the way so that you could get there. But you're right, Dr. Ross, you have to be intentional. You have to be laser focused, and you have to put your energy in it, and know that other things that compete with it, or I always say, try to compromise who you are so that you can conform to what they want you to be. You're going to have to know how to eliminate that and stay focused and intentional on your goal, because you'll get there. You'll definitely get there.
Love it, love it. I'm taking those words of wisdom. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, so Dr. Green, during this pandemic, so many teachers have gotten burned out or maybe stressed out because it's a lot of work. People think that teachers are at home, just playing on the computer. But it's a lot of work to do distance learning, and now we're doing hybrid. So one of the things that we talk about is, like you said, setting goals and, thinking about things that you can do in order to, improve yourself or get excited about in order to find your passion. What are some tips and advice that you can give teachers during this time, when they're feeling discouraged or burnt out?
Mm-hmm. One thing that I definitely can say is give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace and learn how to take care of you. One thing as teachers, and we know, we put everything in front of us. We will stay up late. We will work on the weekends. We will answer calls, texts, emails. We're spending our own money, but we also have to learn how to give ourselves some grace and really take care of ourselves. Self-care and self-management is so important in the space that we're in, because not only are they carrying the weight of teaching, they're carrying the weight of other things too. And so we have to really have some grace for ourselves. And also, I believe in affirmations. Speak to yourself and say, I am, doing the best that I can. I am a phenomenal teacher. I am ensuring that I meet all the needs of my learners. I am, look at that and start speaking those words and going back to mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. And so you have to speak those things. You have to put those things in atmosphere. You have to take the time and say, you know what, when I cut this computer off at 4 o'clock on Friday, I'm not going to open it back up until Monday at 8 o'clock. You have to put that in for yourself. One thing I said the other day when I was talking with another interview is that you have to schedule yourself. So while you are scheduling all these other things, schedule yourself. Take time to put you on the calendar, and also let others know that are in your presence. If you're married or your children or, your things of that nature, your family, let them know that, hey, at 8 o'clock, get your calls in, because the do not disturb is going to be on my phone. You have to make people, and people will respect that space. And just from the leader point of view, leaders that are listening, I've been sharing with leaders, there's a difference between compassion and empathy. And when they're empathetic, you feel the way they feel. But when you act compassionate, you actually respond. And so we have to also check as leaders, are we being empathetic? Are we showing empathy? Are we compassionate? Because you have to get beyond of feeling how the teachers feel. You have to respond when they're feeling a certain kind of way and hear their voice, because their voice matters and it will change. People don't leave organizations because they don't like the work. They leave it because of people. And so we need to make sure that we are compassionate for them as well as they're going through this and having grace on themselves.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned about how people are leaving the profession. And that's one of the goals of the vision is making sure teachers feel supported because that's
Yes.
another reason why people leave the profession because they feel like they're not supported.
Mhm.
Dr. Green, you're doing so much. I follow you on social media and you're doing so much, not only for teachers, but also for parents as well, and just for the community in general. Can you tell the village a little bit about the things that you're doing during this time to serve and to help, the community?
Absolutely, for the community. So one thing that I do every third Saturday in the month, we have a Facebook Live to everything. There's a Season Learning Academy, just a talk show, and I have a panelist of educators and leaders that come on, and we just answer questions for parents in the community. Today, we actually had children on, and I'm telling you, it was so good to hear their voices. I said we bringing them back next month for part 2. We learned so much about what they liked and what they disliked about virtual hybrid learning. We learned about how to make it better. They even spoke about how they found their superhero power, their creative space in this era. One little girl talked about she has a show that she does a book talk on YouTube, and things of that nature. So it was excellent. So that's what we're doing. We also hear the voices of the parents. So the parents were on as well sharing. And so we provide them tips, we provide them help. One thing that I do throughout the school year, and I am be doing this summer, is I have virtual classes for students and parents as well, educators and things of that nature. So you can go to our website, sign up for anything that we have. And then this summer, like I said, we do 2 courses. Most recently, we did an Access, Equity, Progress, and Education conference for educators as well, and parents and families. So we don't exclude. We don't just look at the educators, the teachers, and the leaders. We include the children, we include the parents, and the whole community. Because, like you said, it's going to take the village. It's going to take all of us together. We can achieve, and we can achieve so much more when we're united and on one front.
Wonderful. You are doing an amazing job. I love what you're doing. And, like you said, it takes a village. So I love it. How can people connect with you on social media, on your website and so forth? Maybe you can
Definitely,
share it in
definitely.
my comments or something like that.
So I'm Tasheka Green. So you just put in Tasheka Green, and you'll find me on all social media links. And our website, I have it on the screen here. It's 2eseasons.com. The number 2eseasons.com. So yes, please definitely look at us as a resource. And like I said, we're here to serve, and we want to make situations better than we found it.
Awesome. Any final advice for leaders? Any last words for leaders?
The only last words that I have for everybody is that if you are still here, there is purpose still in you. And so when you walk in purpose, and like Dr. Ross said, and you're intentional about what you do, there is nothing that can distract you because all things will work for your good. Trust and believe. I'm a witness of that. And I didn't go into my whole story of how I came into this aspect of myself, but I'm just grateful and thankful that purpose can never be interrupted. So walk in purpose. If you are still here, go live a purposeful life.
Love it. Well, thank you for that advice and thank you for pouring into the village and thank you for all that you do.
Thank
And
you. I
thank
appreciate
you
you.
for joining the village.
Yes, and happy anniversary. We celebrate you. Congratulations to you and your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
guys, that was Dr. Green. I hope you loved it. I am going to go back and listen to that again because she gave so many great nuggets and information. We want to make sure that we are stepping out there on faith and doing what we need to do as leaders and serving our parents and students and each other as teachers. Listen, guys, we are still celebrating. We're still partying. I don't hear y'all. You guys been hanging in there. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting the village and celebrating with us. Yes. But remember, sharing is caring. And invite because it's right. All right. So please share, share, share. Don't forget to tell your friends to follow the Village Leadership Group at the Village LG on Facebook and Instagram because we are building a community of teachers and leaders and coaches all coming together so that we can be innovative and we can step out there and do what we need to do to help change the culture of our schools and our communities. All right. So again, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. I will see you guys at 7 o'clock because the party continues. Woo!